and welcome to Chrysalis Chats. My name is Tonia and I help people just like you transform their diets and lifestyles to be plant-based. This week's theme is Vegan Hacks 101, how to transition to a vegan diet. And today I'm so excited to share with you because we are going to talk about how to avoid processed foods. And that is a seriously big tip that I'm going to give to you as somebody transitioning to a plant-based diet, okay? So before we get into it, I just want to welcome you to my channel if you're new. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and put a comment down below sharing with us how things have been for you in your journey so far. So with that said, why do you want to avoid processed foods, and how do you do it? So you want to avoid processed foods because by and large, when you're transitioning to a plant-based diet, those foods are going to be loaded with additional oils and other additives because they are plant-based, okay? Now, this is a blanket statement, yes, but I also want to point out that not all processed foods are created equal. And what is a processed food anyway? Well, a processed food is really any food that's not in its raw, just plain state anymore, right? If you want to look at it from one angle. Another angle is looking at it like it's anything in a plastic wrapper or a bag or whatever the case may be, right? So you want to avoid the really processed foods that have a lot of different ingredients on the label. Just go ahead and read the back of the product and look at the ingredients labels and see, number one, how many ingredients are on this label? Ask yourself that. Are there 20 or are there 2? That's a huge difference in the kind of measure of the processed food that you're about to ingest or that you're considering eating, okay? Another thing is that, like I said, they have oftentimes as vegan alternatives, say it's a cookie, say you're getting a really good vegan cookie. A lot of times, if you're not going with a more natural brand, you're gonna find that they're adding additional oils. There might be 5 different oils. They might have palm oil, corn oil, canola oil, soybean oil, safflower oil. There might be all these additional oils, and all with that said, it might still be vegan, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% healthy for you. So that's just really the point of this video. I want to make sure that you, as somebody transitioning to a plant-based diet, you probably have different reasons for it. There's probably more than one reason for most vegans I talk to for going vegan, but sometimes it's just one. Maybe you're looking out for your health, okay? Maybe you want to reduce your risk of heart disease and cancer and diabetes, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go plant-based. Or maybe it's more about the empathy for you, okay? Maybe you're like, these animals don't deserve to live their whole lives in really brutal captive circumstances, and that's why you're transitioning vegan. Whatever your motivations are, I'm looking out for your best interest in this transition, and I just want to express to you that the less processed food you go for, authentically, the better off you're gonna be, okay? And that's a really strong statement that you can take with you to the grocery store, wherever you go, whenever you're shopping, just to help guide you, through the transition to a plant-based diet. You want to just limit the number of ingredients. You want to look at the amount of oils that are in the product. And also, something that I personally like to do is look at, whether or not it's organic and whether or not the source of oil and sugar in particular are organic within that product. Because I find within my body, and you might find this as well, especially as you continue to cleanse your system of all the different additives that have been in your system due to ingesting animal products, you might also find that your body's going to respond differently to different quality of food, okay? And this is a good thing. It's not something to be concerned about. It's actually a really good thing because it's a sign that you're purifying your whole system to be a lot more just clean and in tune with your environment and with what you're putting into yourself. So it really means that you're going through a personal evolution of your health, and it's testimony to the fact that you're shedding a lot of impurities that would otherwise just kind of go with unnoticed because you generally might feel like crap eating all of that stuff, right? It might be just clogging your arteries and you're just generally feeling cranky and low energy and all this stuff. Well, when you transition to a vegan diet, that's not the case. When you transition to a vegan diet, you're going to have so much more energy and you're going to feel awesome and you're going to be inspired and have a lot more passion in your life, just from going plant-based. At least that's what I found on my journey. That's what a lot of my vegan friends have found as well, and just other vegans who I've met along the way. We all kind of echo that same experience, okay? So keep your processed foods to a minimum. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're looking at that ingredient label, making sure that you only have a few ingredients versus like tens and tens of ingredients. So Flaming Hot Cheetos, for example, you know, they may be vegan. I haven't even researched that, but from my first assessment, I don't think they have any cheese or whatever in them. But for that said, you know, they're still sourcing genetically modified corn. They're still sourcing artificial food dye. Okay, if you're going to be eating that type of a food as a vegan, you're going to develop a nutrient deficiency really quickly. Okay, you're going to develop lack of energy really quickly. You're going to be developing a sourpuss attitude really quickly. And again, nothing personal. It's just all about your diet. It's about what you're putting into your body, because you are what you eat, right? That's totally true. You are what you eat. You are what you put in your body. So keep your processed ingredients low. Look for organic sources of fat and sugar, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into non-organic versions of fat and sugar that are vegan, and they're not pure. And even sugar that isn't organic, unless it's gone through a person or a business that's actually looking out for vegans, it's actually not vegan. Sugar that is produced just in the conventional system is oftentimes they use animal bones to mash up the sugar into granules. So basically you're getting like pieces, they might be really small pieces, they might be like dust, right? But if you're eating non-organic or non-specifically vegan sugar, you're actually eating some bones of animals. And as a vegan, I know you want to look out for that, or as somebody transitioning to a plant-based diet, maybe it's not the biggest thing on your priority list for you. Maybe you're more concerned about just not eating flat out flesh or, you know, excretions from animals. But I did want to put that on your radar. If you're a new vegan, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, you're aware of that as you're welcomed into this community of just being more aware in your food. And again, I just want to celebrate you, because you're making such a powerful decision in this, and by really reclaiming your life, because you're reclaiming your food source and what you're putting into yourself, you're reclaiming your whole life going to a vegan diet. You're literally not only reclaiming your life in terms of like how you as yourself and your ego understand the world and interface with the world, but you're actually reclaiming your life in terms of your contributions to the world. You know, Martin Luther King said, not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be of service. And I think that's a really powerful quote, because basically what they're, you know, putting out there with that statement is that you can change the world at an everyday level, and you might not be renowned for it, you might not be widely, you know, celebrated for it, but let me tell you something, that animal whose life you're preventing from going through a lot of suffering appreciates that. And I appreciate that. And there's other vegans out there, you probably are one of them watching this, you know, you appreciate that you're sparing that animal from that existence. And so you're also on the top of that, as if reclaiming your own life, your own health, and your ability to influence the world, right? And like spare other sentient beings from pain. You're also reclaiming your environmental stewardship. Even if you're not one of these people who's like going out every weekend to the park and helping out with like a cleanup day or planting trees or growing your own food in a community garden, by going plant-based, you're actually preventing a lot, and I do mean a lot, of environmental devastation. Like, for example, the rainforest, right? The rainforest has been cut down at a crazy rate just to put up bovine production, just to put up places for cows, for cattle to live so that we can eat their body. And yet we're just continuing to destroy our rainforest, the lungs of the earth, right? For the sake of meat. And by going vegan and by getting yourself off of not only just the meat of it, but the whole excrement system of you know, the animal ingesting world, you're actually purifying the globe. You're purifying the planet. Not only are you purifying yourself and your existence around you, but you're purifying the world, because you're preventing a lot of the issue from perpetuating. And so with that, my friends, I think I'm going to wrap this up now. I do want to say thank you so much. And before you go, if you enjoyed this, just be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, put a comment down below. Let me know how things have been going on your journey going vegan and going plant-based. And if you've been plant-based for years, share with us some stories that we could, you know, learn from, or maybe somebody else could learn from your journey based on what you have experienced related to transitioning off of more processed foods. So with that said, I just want to thank you. Whether you're just starting off and you're a little caterpillar and you're like, where am I going? What am I doing? Or you're a full-fledged butterfly and you're whipping up vegan recipes right and left and you got this on just lock and you're good. I just want to express gratitude to you because you, my friend, are part of the solution, not the problem. And for that, you are an amazing butterfly. Have an awesome rest of your day. Be sure to check out my website, chrysalisandcocoon.com. With that, I say namaste.